victims, and even human lives has been lost in the process.
I entered this vehicle and a man was trying to drop down from the vehicle.
Vehicles that does not have plate number.
There is a market now, there is no income.
Market is so bad, everything and money.
It seems nothing can be achieved with what is being paid by government.
I think that's one of the greatest expenses that my family incurs, because we have 4 children in the family, and all of us are in school. Well, 2 are about to finish, but it's still a very great expense. I think bulk of the income goes into schooling.
I would say feeding, because the economy is very hard, as we already know. So it can be a lot to get food. It can be a lot to get some other required materials for study, the textbooks. Because I'm a law student, our textbooks are not below 5,000 naira. So it's a lot of money, and so it's also a lot of money to feed. So feeding and textbooks materials are the toughest parts of my academic journey.
You basically afford, like, to afford things in school is very tough. Like, you see textbooks prices are going up. You see students are like struggling to get textbooks. Students are struggling to get. You're not even feeding real good, and you're asking the student to, like, somebody that's not feeding up to 3 times a day to buy a textbook of 15,000 at this economy. Like, the whole thing is crazy, you know. It's crazy for real.
So transportation, first of all, from wherever we are coming to school in the first place is on the hike. So even trying to come to school in the first place, the transportation has doubled, tripled. Things that were 100 naira is now 450. Places that were 200 is now like 400 and all. Then cost of textbooks, cost of normal materials for schooling, cost of basically everything is on the rise, and it's not just adding, it's multiplying. So that basically affects availability of those things to students, and if students can't get access to those things, automatically it affects their academics. So that's basically it.
I stay in the hostel, I stay on campus, so for me the toughest part of schooling will have to be feeding expenses. Then I think also materials for books, but it's mostly the feeding expenses, because due to the rise of cost of foodstuffs, it hasn't been easy. Right from time, like, a bulk of the allowance that they give monthly goes into food, and then the little that's left, they have to buy handouts here and there, have to buy textbooks and things. So I'll say food and then materials for learning.
The academic level of Nigeria is really something to question. Firstly, there's a high cost of academics. Every year, they always increase our school fees. Every year, we're always seeing increments in textbooks. Every year, it's as if the lecturers, they are getting worse for most faculties, not mine, but there's always an expectation in my heart that has not been met. So I believe strongly that there is a lot that we can do with our academics, but in our nation, we are actually getting very restricted by our leaders. We cannot do some things that we could have done if we had better leaders. So I fear for the academics of Nigerians, but there's God.
I have a fear that there will be a breakdown of education, and an even greater reduction in the standard of education. That's correct. That is already a trouble and a struggle in the education system, and I think that people will not see the need for education anymore because it's so expensive, and then you have to come out with a certificate that is basically useless in a society where the employment rate is high. So that's what I think.
According to my statistics, right? So I'm feeling people will no longer wish to go to school. Let's say 5 to 10 years from now, I feel people will no longer want to go to school, and they will probably want to do 1 or 2 businesses they feel like will get them going in life than just going to school. Because coming here is like you're wasting a lot of money and you're not getting nothing out of it. So you rather invest that time and that funds into a business you wish you know about, right? I'm not saying you should just pop out of school and then go get yourself a business. You should analyze what you want to do, right? And then I think students, like, let's not say students, people, right, who actually no longer have that interest in school. If things keep going this way they're going, right, people no longer have that interest in school.
Of course, we know who we are to blame now. Nothing but our leaders. Nothing but our leaders. Of course, even though Nigerians have a part to play in all of this, but still, our leaders take the major, because they have the power to do everything. They have the power to change the way things are, and so we are looking up to them and waiting to see results. But the way forward is, I think, empathy is lacking in our leaders. It's as if our leaders have a little sense of empathy. They would be able to make laws or make policies that at least not just benefit them, also benefiting the masses, also putting the students in consideration, putting the market women in consideration, because sincerely, our leaders lack empathy. They are not thinking about the people, they are thinking about what they feel is best for, I don't know. So empathy, I would advise.